And either for the fourth or fifth time, I have no idea anymore, I'm back again anyway, just to conclude this whole Savage Worlds bit, just for now. Yes. Where was I? Well, yes, alright, fair enough. Well, what we've just done is Solomon Kane. We've been through this. Now, as I say, Savage Worlds is a system, as I said before, that you can basically do whatever the hell you like with. Now, one or two other adventures that have actually piqued my interest. This one is another softback Explorers Edition book, as they call it. This one is called Necessary Evil. And yes, this is quite awesome. Again, it's got everything you need for character creation. This is very, very City of Heroes pulp. And actually, now that I think about it, one of the most awesome things ever. Oh, I get a few bars. It is a beholder with a targeting system and underslung Gatling cannon. Oh, that is awesome. It's a D&D reference for all of those who don't understand why the hell I'm jizzing myself, but that is awesome! Anyway, sorry, yes, just because. Right, essentially, very simple. I haven't played this yet, I admit this wholeheartedly. Aliens have invaded the world. All the world's heroes, through very heinous tricks, because let's face it, heroes are naturally gullible, have been killed and destroyed. And who's left to save the world but the superpowered supervillains themselves? It's very, very, very sort of, you know, cheesy comic book, but to me that is so, so good. Yes, that means I'm an awesome nerd, but I don't care, because to me, I really want to sort of have a crack at this. There is actually a proper comic book style, a proper campaign in here, which sort of runs through the supervillains sort of fighting back the aliens and rebuilding the world. You know, it looks quite meaty. I'm going to run that through very, very soon. Excuse me. You know, I mean, it's quite awesome. I mean, this will probably mean that, you know, stretchy man. So it's got everything. It's good. It's even got some sort of generic supervillain layers and whatnot. But you know, I quite enjoy the whole premise. And of course, the other one. How could I do Savage Worlds with at least without just flashing this? Deadlands Reloaded. Yes, thank you, Captain Machine, Desardis, everybody else who replied to my Deadlands video about sort of that this is actually here. You're all awesome because, quite frankly, again, although it's not quite as complete as a Solomon Kane book, you won't find the core rules in here. You also won't find a massive adventure in here for you to follow. But you will find that this is an awesome, awesome book. And, you know, it's written in a Western style. Actually, I have to say, if anything, Deadlands is more in-your-face sort of Cthulhu-esque Griblies, as you see here. But, you know, it's that's an interesting little picky. Yes, very interesting. But anyway, like I said, again, it's just superbly laid out. A very attractive book. I must admit, so far I've been more trapped in Solomon Kane. I've not really read this through properly, but from what I've skimmed, it seems to be absolutely awesome. And more to the point that, yes, before anybody asks me, yes, the actual magic gambling system has returned, which is where you could use a deck of playing cards to gamble poker style with a Manitou to cast your spells. That is in there. Basically, all the trappings that makes Deadlands is right here. Hucksters are back, you know, the Harrowed are back, everything's there. So, you know, if you're a fan of Deadlands, seriously, it might be worth having a look at this. Now then, what I was going to go into for the final thing is that, to be perfectly honest with you, I've never really tried running games in this sort of style before, but Solomon Kane in particular, and I think the Savage World system, because it's very pulp-esque and very sort of not comic book-ish, well, Necessary Evil is, but it's Savage Worlds advertises this as a sort of a plot point system. And what they mean by that is that rather than having a grand, flowing, epic campaign, then your plot point system is more like it's an episode. It's an episode of a series, sometimes to be continued, but most of the time, you know, you have a few scenes, you run through it, that's an adventure in itself. You might find clues to the overarching plot of the series, but you're running through one particular episode. Like in Stargate, the overarching plot is to always find, technologies and whatnot to destroy and defend themselves against the Goa'uld. However, the adventures they have sometimes don't even... that's their incentive for going through the Stargate. However, the adventures they have along the way are nothing to do with the Goa'uld, some of them, so it's this sort of thing with Solomon Kane as well. It's that sort of thing you're looking for. And to be honest with you, I tried to run Serenity quite some time back. It was the first game I ever tried to run, and although it was fun, it sort of flopped, because the problem with Serenity is you're in a spaceship. Now, that isn't inherently a problem. Spaceships are cool, I admit, but the problem is that, unless you know how to handle it, you've got a lot of time in space where you're going from A to B through the black, yada yada yada, boring. And the thing is, as well, is that if you're running like a contiguous campaign, it's a case of, well, fuel costs a shitload, money costs a ton, we need to trade or loot stuff to keep our money up. Okay, you can do that once or twice, and the novelty will wear off, I assure you. So the fact is, if you run it as an episodic campaign, basically, you're running through key episodes in the crew's life, right? So, and then you're just assuming that in the downtime, they're doing what it takes to keep themselves in the air. So, of course, you can start certain episodes of the thing with, the crew with a cargo they need to sell somewhere, or you can start with... they're pulling off a job or a raid or something. That's fine, but just keep it in mind that they're probably doing what it takes to stay in the air, and you don't really have to worry about fuel and whatnot. They're probably going to... But having said that, like I said, if you want to bring fuel into the game and just say, oh crap, we're running out of fuel, then... Well, that's a perfectly valid plot point. But don't, it's like, if you run it like that, you can cut out all the crap and just stick to the fun, adventurous stuff. I think that's what I'm trying to babble around my way to, is just saying, keep it fun, keep it snappy, keep it sharp. And, for a system like Savage Worlds, it really benefits in that, just to keep it punchy. Solomon Kane, it was all about the action and the horror. There was never really any downtime, and that's what this whole plot point thing really, it does a really good job of keeping you in the flow. Right. I babbled for too long. There's a lot more to Savage Worlds than the actual sort of game mechanics that I've actually mentioned here. For instance, it's actually a toughness-based system, not an HP-based one, because all your wildcards, i.e. heroes or villains, have got 3 wounds, full stop. That never gets higher. However, some of them, with toughness, are harder to wound than others, which, in a way... I prefer, but at first it's a bit of a jarring experience because you suddenly realise I'm not ticking off HP. I'm actually going, well, either I'm hurt or I'm not hurt, but I can be more severely hurt. I can take 2 wounds rather. And trust me, if you ever look at the system, it will make sense. And like I said, just to round this whole thing off, because I am starting to babble now, which means it's probably time to quit. If you're into role-playing games, it's worth having a look at, seriously. If you want to sort of explore, although it's expensive, as I say, from what I've actually run now and played, Savage Worlds of Solomon Kane with the Traveller's Tales, absolutely! You should really, if you like the whole idea of a religious society that uses folklore and all this old sort of dark magic, witchcraft, devilry, all this sort of stuff. If you like that idea, and to be honest, I find it very refreshing, it is awesome. I give it my awesome seal of approval, and it's seriously worth checking out. I would check out Savage Worlds anyway. And there are so many settings and whatnot that you can find on the Pinnacle Entertainment site, and actually some that they haven't even listed. There's one called Necropolis 2600 or something. That's got a very Warhammer 40k theme, but I think it was actually done originally in Weird Tales, which means it came before Warhammer 40k. Shock. So it's got the whole religious thing, Necron type monsters. Like I said, there's a huge amount of variation without you having to even touch on creating your own stuff. But God, I'm going to leave it there because you can tell I'm enthused. I hope that's come across. And it's down to a combination of this and all you awesome people who commented that have got me back into doing these videos, and I hope that shortly I will do other videos as well. That depends. We shall see, but I thought I owed it to you to sort of say sorry and, well, this, I hope in some part, this small part, this makes up for it. Check it out. And with that, I shall catch you later, and see you soon. Cheers. Well, this is Chrome Magnus, signing off. Catch you guys later.